Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Hello. That is your favorite internet nobody. Yes, I'm in my pajamas. Yes, it's about 8:30 a.m. No, 8:50. So I've got 10 minutes before I start work. This is part of my many guilty pleasures. Racing in VR, but actually driving in Euro Truck Simulator. It's something I don't do recordings of, I don't do live streams of. I think there are a plethora of fantastic channels out there that you should definitely go and give a watch, because those guys put a lot of effort into the making of their content, and stuff looks super immersive and cool. But I don't want to talk about this fixation because I'm a dabbler first and foremost. No, like everybody else, I was very curious about what's announced at CES, and although I no longer get any excitement for new stuff, one thing did catch my attention that not many people think about. And that is, more devices will now support the ability to use GeForce Now. And yes, this includes the Meta Quest 3, although via a browser. But still, I think that's a big one. I think that's a big one for couch potatoes. It's a good thing for casual gamers. It's a good thing for people who want a very minimal setup. Because effectively, you can have a fully gaming setup with just your VR goggles and your VR controllers, because they can map to X input, meaning they can become a way for you to play your games on Windows. And I find that to be the most ergonomic, the most comfortable way to play, which is another video I want to make about this thing, about these controllers, and how that would really make sense if you made it into a proper Windows controller, if you will. Yeah, GeForce Now will be available on Meta Quest 3. I suspect 3S as well, but don't quote me on that. It's going to be available on Steam Deck as well. I know there are workarounds for these things, and for the most part they work. But what you want is that sweet 4K 120 FPS experience, because the Meta Quest 3 supports 120 Hertz. And then just having the ability to, sit in your couch or whatever you feel comfortable, or even on whatever you get some decent Wi-Fi. You can play AAA titles on your head. You don't need to buy an expensive laptop or an expensive gaming rig. If you just have like an hour or two here and there. True, you don't own the games, especially if you go the route of Games Pass plus GeForce Now. You don't effectively own the games you play, but I think the convenience, and to a degree the cost effectiveness as well, is massive. And there's a video I made a while back comparing these two things. Why owning stuff is fantastic. It makes a lot of sense, but if you don't use them, they just gather dust. And in the cases of computer equipment, over time it becomes obsolete. I mean, you can still use it for stuff, but you can't use it for the new stuff, if you will. And it's why I don't get excited about new hardware in general. It's because nowadays it feels a lot like, well, yeah, you get the new 5000 series GPUs, but what they really do well is upscaling. A clever upscaling. And super sampling. I know I'm being a reductivist. People will get upset, but that's not the point. That's just a fact. They do upscaling fantastically well, and that's the future of how games will go. it looks more and more likely that over time, a lot of what we see on our screens will be upscaled as opposed to rendered properly, natively, the way we used to do. Again, because it seems to be more efficient. But nothing beats renting hardware, I think. Nowadays, nothing beats it. Just the prices are not good enough to warrant that. Because if you get yourself a secondhand Meta Quest 3 headset, that'll set you back about £350 if it's in good condition. 128 gigs storage. Yeah, I'll say about £350. And then if you get 500 meg network at home, that will be another 30, 40 British pounds. And then GeForce Ultimate is about 100 every 6 months, or that's about 20 a month. And then Games Pass, if you can spend another 15, 20. So it gets up to about 80. Sorry, what am I talking about? 350. Yeah. So over the course of a year, it's probably about £1,000 in expenses to game this way, which is about €1,000 or about 1,000 some US dollars a year to game. But the great thing is, it basically doesn't become obsolete. As long as you have the network and you have access to your headset, you kind of don't need a TV. You don't really need a laptop unless you're doing work. You don't need a gaming rig because, it's all in your head. It's all in your head. It is, of course, early on. I do think that there probably needs to be like a separate class of devices, like the AR glasses, something that's super light but still processes things internally. So don't have any cables, you don't need to connect it to any rigs. And then that paired with great streaming technology. So something lightweight paired with some fantastic streaming technology, which again is something you can kind of get with some of the Viture whatever glasses, where you get like a little doodad you attach to them, which streams stuff. I think again, that's just your TV, your gaming rig, your work laptop, all in one. And that's saving space. It's saving the need to buy the latest stuff all the time. It's saving the need to spend money on things unnecessarily. And I am in favor of that. I'm in full support of this in some way. Don't get me wrong. As I said before, I'll say it again. If you're excited about the latest GPUs and the latest laptops and the fantastic AMD CPUs coming out and their APUs, go ahead. And if you're very curious about the AI stuff, go ham. Go absolutely wild with it. But I think for most people who game every now and then, I think this latest move by Nvidia to bring GeForce Now to more devices, paired up with a VR headset, it's fantastic. It is absolutely fantastic. Oh, and no, just because you can play GeForce Now on your headset, it doesn't mean it supports the VR functionality of those games. No, you effectively get like a large curved screen, projected somewhere in space, and you play that way. It's good. It's very good. Thanks for listening. I'm off to get some food, and to the salt mines we go. Work needs to happen. Take care.